Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Slightly different background. The natural light is so terrible at the moment here in London, even though it's the middle of the day. It's really grey. I've moved into a different room, into my kitchen in fact, in the hope it's a little bit lighter and boosted up with a lamp, but it's the best I can do in these dreadful filming conditions. So sorry you've got my slightly lurid kitchen tiles as the background, but hopefully you'll be able to see the products a little bit better, because this is just a short video showing the two purchases I've made so far from the Dior holiday collection for 2014. This collection is called Golden Shock, which is, I don't know, a slightly odd name. It doesn't really do it for me. I can kind of understand the golden bit, but shock, I'm not sure what they're trying to convey by that. Dior isn't really a particularly edgy collection, designer, certainly not since Galliano's gone, even as a couture concept, and certainly not in the makeup, but I don't know, maybe they're trying to shock a little bit. Anyway, the name doesn't really matter, it's the products, I guess, and I've only bought two at the moment. I was a little bit rushed when I paid a visit to my local stand because the shop was shutting unexpectedly, so I didn't really get the chance to play with things as much as I wanted, and so I went for two items that I'd kind of thought right from seeing the write-ups on various blogs I would want. I think the most interesting is the lipstick, and it's one of the Diorific lipsticks, which I really like the formulation. I like Dior lipsticks generally. They have the right sort of combination between colour payoff and slip for me. They're not too matte, they're not drying on the lips, they often look quite glossy but without being too over the top. And I like the Diorific formulation. Now what's interesting about this collection is there are about 6 different choices, but I'm hoping you can see that. It's not terribly clear, but basically there are 2 formulations in the same lipstick. So on this side you get a more colour intense, and on this side you get a more glossy, shimmery lipstick. And they're in kind of coordinating colours. I went for Golden Shock, which is the one you see in front of you, and that was one of the more muted combinations. There are combinations where the colour contrast is more pointed. There's, for example, a very darker, well, it's not very dark, but it's much more plummy, vivid pink on this side with a light gloss on the other. These seem to be selling really, really well. When I picked this one out from the testers and asked to buy it, initially they said it was sold out, and then they managed to find one up on a shelf somewhere. And I think there were certainly holes for 6 different shades on the stand, and one of them they'd already removed. I don't know which one it was that was sold out. So as I say, they seem to be selling well. Let me just colour swatch. So there's the darker colour, which is a very pinky coral, very wearable, nothing terribly exciting. And then there's the more shimmery overlay, which is actually showing up a bit deeper on the monitor than it is in real life. Very pretty, nudie pink, just giving a bit of sheen to the lips, really, depending on your lip colour. So you can kind of wear them separately or mix them. I think that's what's intended, that you wear one on top of the other, this on top of that. But quite an interesting concept, I thought, as it should be. I think these are £29, which isn't cheap. Very pretty packaging, I really like it. And so I'll let you know how that wears, but I tend to like the Dior formulations. They're not hugely exciting, they're not hugely out there, but very, very wearable. And I like the idea of this combination. And then the other thing I like are these seasonal polishes that they've brought out for the Christmas season for certainly the last 3 years, to my knowledge. I like the Dior polishes, particularly the new formulation in the gel, but these ones they bring out in these almost like little Christmas ornament type packaging at Christmas. And they've brought out 4 coloured ones this year, plus this one, which is designed to be a kind of overcoat to add glitter. And this was the only one I purchased this time. I might go back for more, look at them a bit more carefully. You can see it's just a standard glittery overlay with quite big chunks of glitter to perhaps add for me as an accent for a couple of fingers, maybe for a party look. I wouldn't do it all over, but just so pretty on your dressing table. I couldn't resist that. I've got some from previous years to show you because the collection this year isn't that dissimilar, to be honest. They bring out pretty much the same colours, you know, year on year. There's a red this year which from memory is a little more pinky than this one, so a reddy pink, I would say. This is Marilyn from, I think, originally 2 years ago and re-promoted last year. And then there's quite a black one. This is Minwi from last year, which is a slightly shimmery plum. I really love this one. Of the colours, I think this is probably my favourite. This year, from memory, what I saw yesterday was less shimmery and more black. I think there was a black one 2 years ago, which I've got, I don't know where it is. And then there's a very pretty gold, which, again, from my first impressions, was slightly less white gold than this one. In other words, a more goldy gold, but not little clumps of glitter. Very much a kind of pearlized gold, which I thought was very pretty, very seasonal. There is a lot of gold out there this year. And then I think this one's called Lady from a couple of years ago. There's one very similar to this, a kind of pearlescent, more cream than this one, which is white. So there's a whole collection out there, and if you collect the Diorific Christmas editions, then you're going to want to look at them and collect them, I guess. But this one for me was the kind of standout that was a bit different to have this year. The others were a bit same to previous years, but, you know, very pretty, and I may well go back and I think probably get the gold one, I think. So that was my kind of mini haul from Dior Golden Shock. There are other items. There are glosses. There are 2 powders, pressed powders. One's a pale champagne gold and one's a pink, which was very unusual. I did play with that a little bit. I wasn't sure whether it was meant to be used as a highlighter or an all-over face powder. It was quite pink. And I wasn't sure how that would apply. It was also very, very soft. The testers were wearing away very quickly, so I was unsure about that. And then there were 2 eye palettes, quints, both of which had a gold glitter in the centre, very seasonal, but very like they always bring out. The one I preferred was, I think, called Golden Reflections, and that had a taupe, a bronze, a grey and a champagne. You know, as if I haven't got enough of those colours. It was quite similar to a lot of other Dior palettes, and I did like it, but not enough to buy it yet because I have others that are very like that. And then the other one was called Golden Shock, and that had a plum and I think a kind of warmer taupe and a more plummy taupe than the Golden Reflections. And I think rather than the champagne highlighter, it was a pale pink highlighter. So it was much warmer palette, quite pinky, plummy toned. And again, I just felt I'd got enough plum at the moment from my autumn purchases. And I didn't really have enough time to play around. The consistency of the quints seemed good because I'd felt they were quite variable in the fall releases for Dior. So worth having a look at if you like Dior quints. They were pretty, they were very wearable and usable, very season appropriate both now and for the holiday season, but I wasn't tempted enough at this stage to get them. So it's a very mini lipstick and nail polish haul so far. Anyway, hope you're well. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.